The Beyond the Fame podcast is sponsored by the historic Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. Step into 1865. President Lincoln has been shot and the city is in chaos. As the newest deputy to join the ranks, the investigation is in your hands. Join Detective James McDevitt as you retrace the footsteps of the Lincoln assassination through the streets of downtown D.C. Whether you're a history buff, a true crime enthusiast, or just looking for an entertaining way to get your steps in, there's something for everyone in history on foot. For tickets, visit Fords.org. And of course, this podcast is powered year-round by our longtime sponsor, the Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Upcoming entertainment includes Buddy Guy on August 1st, Gabby Barrett on August 7th, and Richard Marks on August 8th. Plus, the $1 million Charlestown Classic Race and Festival on August 28th. Enjoy live racing, live entertainment, food trucks, and more. Free fun for the whole family. Details and tickets at HollywoodCasinoCharlestown.com. Must be 21 to enter the casino floor and attend a show. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top artists and entertainers of our time. 30 years ago today, comedian Lewis Black hosted his very first Back in Black segment on Comedy Central's The Daily Show on July 31st, 1996. He joined me for the first of several times when he brought his Let Freedom Laugh tour to the Warner Theater in Washington, D.C. in 2015 on a triple bill with the legendary Dick Gregory and Tom Smothers of the Smothers Brothers. I'm here with comedian Lewis Black, who's going to be coming to D.C. to the Warner Theater. Lewis, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Now, before we get into your show, you're a local guy, right? Aren't you from Silver Spring?
I'm from the old Silver Spring, not the new, modern, unbelievably, boy, there's a lot to do here, Silver Spring.
How has it changed for you? I mean, I assume you've been back to the new and can compare the new to the old.
Well, there was a company called Hex there. There was one store. There was it was like a village in comparison to what has become a major city. There's the difference. It went from nothing to huge. The metro made a big change in terms of that.
Sure, absolutely. Do you still come back often, or just when your show comes?
As far as Silver Spring goes, I'm there. Probably, I've still got friends who are around there, and I'm there about once a year, and then. And my folks are now have moved outside of Baltimore, so I'm down there twice a year.
Do you mind if I ask what high school it was?
Oh yeah, Springbrook.
Oh, nice. Didn't someone else rather well-known come from Springbrook, or am I thinking of a different? Was it Goldie Hawn or Ben Stein, or someone came out of it?
Ben Stein, I think, and Goldie Hawn went to Blair.
Oh, okay.
It's not as good a school, really, at the time.
Okay, but you didn't know them back then, did you?
No, I didn't even know I was going to end up doing what I was doing.
Do you still pinch yourself every now and then? Do you, the little boy from Silver Spring, now when you're on stage, do you pinch yourself when you're performing comedy?
I'm still stunned by the fact of what's gone on, yeah. That my face is, that I've played the Warner Theater and more than a number of times, that I've done an HBO special out of there, it's still like, somebody's got to be kidding me. I thought I'd end up teaching theater. That's what I thought I'd do.
How did that happen? If you look back over your life, if there was one big major moment where your trajectory changed?
It was mostly just it didn't really the trajectory was that I was going to write plays, and I did this stand-up thing on the side for fun. To just kind of get my writing, heard, because you wait around for them to do a play of yours. It takes, years sometimes. So I I just kind of started doing it on the side, and then that's where people went, oh, they seem to like that more than they like the playwriting. So I ended up following that path. and the real change came when I just made the decision that I started going on the road and found that I liked it and that they paid you. That made a big difference because I didn't really just switch over till I was 40.
Right.
So it was really, so I was about as broke as you could be.
Yeah. Is that rare? I mean, I do feel like a lot of people go into stand-up, in their 20s or something. I mean, do we talk about that, like making that change, at 40?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is kind of rare. I think Rodney Dangerfield, it started later also, but I had been doing it on and off, and then once I focused on it, and I just kind of, and it was kind of like I was at a time when it was, a good time to really, there was still a good time to go on the road.
Right. Where are you based out of now? Where are we calling from right now?
New York. I can't do Los Angeles. It makes me insane.
They are two different types of people. Why do you think you can fit in the New York crowd a little better?
Well, I mean, it's just a real city. It's got, and you can walk around, and it's got a center to it. It's a city. Los Angeles is a series of suburbs strung around roads. I mean, it's a completely different place.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a driving town.
It's a driving town, and to be honest, part of the thing was just having come from Maryland, and once they built the Beltway, I was enough with the driving.
Yeah, it's very similar. I think I caught one of your shows, I don't know if it was a TV special or something, where you were in Atlanta and you came out and said, "Well, nice to see you got the traffic worked out." So it made me think of DC as well. I mean, the traffic here is brutal.
The amazing thing is that moment. Because I have a tour bus. That moment when you come into Virginia now and out of D.C. on I think it's 95
or 66, one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's 95, 60, where they all becomes it's like a spaghetti loop, and it's more traffic than I ever imagined being there.
So you like the New York model of being able to walk out of your apartment, walk through whatever Greenwich Village or whatever, and get on the subway.
You can walk a couple of miles, and you're at the from one end to the other. It's not now in this frost-bitten tundra it's become, but generally, most of the time you can get out and you can walk and see things. I never really enjoyed driving. I was a lousy driver. I even talk about it in my act now. I was terrible.
Yeah, let's get into your act a little bit. So when you come to, you're coming to the Warner Theater here, I know you said you've played it several times before, but if our listeners have seen you there before, sell it to them to come back again. What incentive is there? How's the show different this time around as opposed to previous
time?
I
mean, well, first off, I don't have to do it all on my own, which is great, and I'm accompanied by, or actually, and I'm kind of in the presence of two tremendous comedians. The word icon, legend, it just is. You kind of hate those words because it means they've. To me, those words don't really encompass. These are Tom Smothers and Dick Gregory, who were two of the most kind of outspoken comics of their time, and they're still and still are funny.
Right.
I mean, because to call them an icon or legend means, well, they came and then they did it. I think, it's the fact is these two guys are still, I worked with Dick Gregory and Tom Smothers. We did this benefit in Arizona where the first monument to the Bill of Rights was really built, and we raised the money there, and the two of them were stunning. And then there's four other comedians working, and Dick Gregory, Tom Smothers, Cristela Alonso, Ahmed Ahmed, John Fugelsang, Chris Bliss, and all of them are terrific.
Do you remember when you first encountered Tom Smothers, Smothers Brothers?
Oh, yeah. Well, at first when they were, him and his brother would show up on TV just doing, their 5 to 7 minutes on either one of the late shows or, Ed Sullivan to date myself. Really
no such thing.
But they would show up and do their act, and it was the smart brother and the dumb brother, and and kind of like a Burns and Allen kind of a thing to really date myself, and then
no.
And but actually, people should, I always think it's not a matter of people are, because of the 12 billion videos now that people can watch of cats. People lose sight of the fact that there's this whole collection of videos out there of some of the most brilliant comedy ever done, and they were and then they morphed into the Smothers Brothers show, which was the Extraordinary at the time.
No.
It was outspoken. It was dangerous. It was edgy. It was everything that Saturday Night Live claims to be in some cases, but I think they hit it on the mark. It was called Right Place, Right Time, and they spoke to the moment.
Absolutely, and I love your point. I have actually echoed this a ton to some my peers about just how technology has almost erased time in a way where there's all the dumb cat videos you mentioned on YouTube, but you can also pull up a stand-up act from whenever. Really, you can watch Richard Pryor with a click of a button as fast as you can watch House of Cards or whatever. It's that notion of time's almost erased, and I think that's actually pretty great, especially in
you do.
Comedy.
You now have access to all of it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is extraordinary.
There's even people who, on their way to Warner Theater, could look up your stuff and, get a little primer.
Yeah. They could look up, basically if they want to know what I'm going to be doing, it'll be similar to what I've been doing over the past 25, 30 years. It's, my act is basically, the stuff that I'm going to be doing is stuff that is probably, it's about what's going on in Washington now, which I just find to be beyond belief, and the fact that I'll talk about coming from there, and I'm hosting, which is an unusual place to be because a host is usually someone who's got to be nice, and it's really irritating. It irritates me that I have to be nice for a while. When because you kind of got to make sure that the next guy up gets a fighting chance, but
exactly.
You don't want to screw it up for them by being a prick. So
exactly.
I look for. And I haven't really figured out. I've got a couple of hours material that I've been doing on the road for the past couple of years that's new, and it's just a question of what from there I'll be doing. And then they're shooting it as a special, so that'll be on Access TV, and I have to kind of tailor it somewhat for television, only in the sense of trying to figure out what material do I want to let go of and can't do in the next special.
Yeah, exactly. And you're tailoring it for TV, and you're also tailoring it for Washington. You have your material you take nationwide, but in terms of DC, how do you go about streamlining it to maybe a couple more DC political jokes, or are there certain?
Well, that's easy because I was born and raised around there, and so it's I watched it as a kid, and I watched the changes, and and the fact that I'm just quite simply when I was a kid, the government worked better, and I believe that worked better because a lot of those people were drunks, and apparently alcohol made it easier for them to sit down and talk and get stuff done. So,
is that true? Is that true for stand-up comedy too? Have a couple before you go on?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I can't. There are people who do.
Right.
I can't, because if I drink before a show, the anger becomes real.
Yes, you're kind of part of your whole act is a lot of at least people maybe who've seen maybe Back in Black on the Daily Show or whatever have seen it. It's a lot of that shouting, angry humor. How did you find your voice in that style? Because it works totally.
Well, because it took a long time, but it takes a long time sometimes to figure out what it is that what it is that makes you funny. Mm-hmm. And I'm funny, it turns out, I'm funniest when I'm angry. And whatever that persona is that I throw out there is people find funny. And a lot of the times, they come just to see me get angry. They don't really care what I'm saying. And I don't, if that's what they want to see, great. It's kind of it's like, in a sense, it's like, a great physical comic. Not that I'm a great angry guy, but that a physical comic, people who come and they may not, what they came to laugh at is their ability to do slapstick, and my ability is to implode.
Exactly. So sometimes do you think that can save a joke? Sometimes maybe it's not. Maybe it's even the weakest part of your show, maybe like your least favorite joke.
It's saved many a joke.
Just ratchet.
And in part, I've discovered the fact that when something doesn't work, sometimes I'll yell at the audience because I know it's their fault, and sometimes I'll yell at myself because I know it's my fault.
Is there a little? Do you have a preview? Not actually any punchlines, but in terms of which figures of DC politicians or anything you might be covering?
Oh yeah, the President Obama, the ones that the main ones, President Obama and Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi and John Boehner and the delightful and always very smiley Mitch McConnell, Ted Cruz. Maybe we'll touch on Bachmann, Rick Perry. Who's certainly not, well, they're not Washington, but they're certainly, they're still very funny.
Do you find that today's state of politics is easier to get enraged over for your jokes?
Oh, yeah. I found the one thing in the last 25, 30 years is it gets easier all the time. What's difficult is to try to find the humor within the rage, because they really have gone beyond. They have. I just, when I watch them talk, and they say, and this is the way the American people feel. They have no clue as to how the American people feel. They're literally the saddest thing that's occurred in Washington, and they're completely don't even recognize it. They're in a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a bubble that is like Stephen King's The Dome. They are really in there. They can't apply enough sealant between themselves and their public. 34% of the American people go out to vote, which is less than voted during World War II when we were at war.
Right.
And they consider, and they don't, and they're not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
But you hear no one in either party speaking about how shameful that is.
Yeah.
That they rendered the American public, better than any enemy has done. They rendered them immobile.
Right.
They rendered them. They made it. The American public did not want to go out and vote. People, the less people voted in World War II because they were fighting a war in order so that these people could go vote.
Yeah.
And then these idiots come along and they go, you know what? It's not even worth your time.
Yeah.
And then we elect the same group of schmucks.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'll be doing.
See, he's getting fired up over his morning coffee, just like he's going to be on stage.
I knew eventually we'd reach it.
Well, now you're awake. No, it's true. With your act, it's almost like we have to laugh to keep from crying with some of that stuff. It's serious.
Because the truth is that it reads like, it doesn't read like news. It reads like satire.
Right.
It reads like someone is writing a fictional account.
Absolutely.
If you wake up and look at that newspaper as if it's fiction, it's funny.
It's true. Am I reading The Onion or an actual paper right now? It's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah. ISIL has 30,000 troops.
Right.
That's how many troops they have, 30,000.
Yeah.
Well, there are 300 million Americans.
Right.
There are a gazillion Chinese. There are a ton of Indians. There's 30,000 troops.
Yeah.
It's not a big group.
Right.
You want to worry about the guys, who are going over there and they're coming back and they're taking time bombs. I get that, but don't tell me that the world can't get together a force that can beat 30,000 troops.
Right.
It's absurd.
Why can't we pool our resources here?
I mean, it is. It's just absurd. You go, what? Because when I read that number, I was like, because it reads like, boy, they're everywhere. Boy, they're coming out of the woodwork. Boy, there's a billion of them. They're just like termites. Well, no, they're 30,000.
Right.
It reads like a joke.
Right. Well, and there's your material right there. You don't even have to write it sometimes. It writes itself.
No, you don't have to write it. It's literally as if, as a friend of mine has said, that it's like Kurt Vonnegut is writing it.
Absolutely. It's Slaughterhouse. Some of our listeners, maybe they've seen you at the Warner Theater before, or maybe they've just caught you, in snippets like Back in Black with The Daily Show. I actually just had the chance to interview Jon Stewart when he was touring with Rosewater, and we didn't know he was going to be leaving at the time. But
Right.
Do you mind saying a few words on Jon Stewart and your interactions with him? I mean, now that he's stepping down, I mean, just any final thoughts?
I thought it was incredible to be involved in that run with him, and that I have enjoyed working with him. I've enjoyed watching him work. I mean, he's more talented in the way that, in the same sense that Stephen Colbert is more talented than that show is. Mm-hmm. That his ability to work that show, that there are other things that he is just as capable of doing, and I think that he'll move on to something else and be just as brilliant at it, which is really to someone like myself irritating to watch. But it's a pleasure. But it was a pleasure working with him and spending time with him. So I do think it's smart of him to step down at this point, because it's an exhausting. There just comes a point when you're doing that sort of thing that it's not that it's not fun anymore. It's just you've run the same track over and over and over again. And it's time to go. I got as much as I could. What I think it boils down to? Growth.
Yeah, you want to keep challenging yourself. Yeah.
And he's not. It's not like he's 75. He's a young guy who needs to who wants to grow, and he's grown as far as he can. His size 36 pants don't fit anymore.
That's a good analogy. Hey, and it's if you haven't seen any of Lewis Black's stuff on the Daily Show clips, you guys got to look it up. One of my favorites was when you did the Glenn Beck has Nazi Tourette's. I thought it was just brilliant.
Well, thanks. That's what's the great thing about working on that show too, is you've got these terrific writers that work with you, and you've got a whole group of editors. That editing group is the ones who work behind the scenes are brilliant. How
does that work? So, if, say, for instance, you would come on for a little segment, you're writing your material, but also with their team of writers for those segments, or how does that work?
Because John really. The show, John puts together the show, and they find some topic they want me to go off on, and so they essentially write the first draft of it, because I'm traveling around so much, I'm not available, and they write the first draft, and I come back in, and then I work through the first draft with them, and we come up with a second draft, and then we take it to John and go through a third draft, and then we go out and we basically, or they may even do a fourth draft on their own, and where I may throw some stuff out that I've thought of, and then we go there, we run it with the clips and stuff, and then without an audience, we go through it once more. Then we take it into John, and then the whole group, the senior producers and John, then go through it again, and then we're on the air.
Gotcha. Compare that to what you'll be doing here this weekend. Is there a different energy to doing it live? Because, even the Daily Show was taped, so,
Well, the nice thing about the Daily Show is there is a live audience, so you get a taste of that. The difference is that it's just me, and I'm not in that, I'm not a part of the Daily Show, it's just me. So the energy is different in the sense that I can, and also if you're not shooting just for a camera, that I'm in there with 2,000 people.
Right, exactly.
All of a sudden, it's a different leap of energy.
Do you usually get good audience reaction in DC? How's our Funny Bone compared to other cities?
It's great. I mean, it really is. It has and it will continue to be. It's a great comedy town, and initially a lot of great people have come out of there, and people who you don't even know of because they went on to become writers and producers in Los Angeles. So, that I've kind of kept, a bit of it in touch with over the years, and. The only time that DC sucks as a comedy town is the Congressional Correspondents' Dinner or the White House, the writers, the guys who cover the White House, that dinner. There's two of them, and I did one of them. And it's, you get all those people in a room, and it's like, and they're a pain in the neck. They're not, you want a diverse group of people in the room. It's like if you do that with any group, as soon as you put all the people in one company doing corporate events, all the people in one company are in the same room. They're all Catholics in the same room, all Jews in the same room. It just doesn't work as well.
Well, it's like that bubble you're talking about,
Yeah, it is. But boy, do they have sticks placed firmly up there, stuff there. Because it's really, I did one, and I've said it, I had to turn, and there's Mitch McConnell sitting literally two seats to my left. I'm on the dais, and he can't crack a smile. He won't crack a smile. And you kind of go, wow. Are you serious?
Yes, too serious.
Yeah, and there also is when you do stuff politically in Washington, there's always like, well, I know what funny is. You don't know what funny is.
Right.
But then again, they don't go out and talk what the rest of the country thinks is funny.
Right. Well, hopefully you can split the difference and you can share what we all think is funny.
I hope so, or we're screwed. There'll be no Bill of Rights around the country.
Exactly. Hey, Louis, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and we have just a few hundred seats left to sell, and I'd love to sell it out. So thank you.
Thanks so much for coming on WTOP.
My pleasure. I listened to that station as a kid. It was the big station, and it was kind of the legit station in Washington, way back when. And, it wasn't the music station. It was the station where you went and got actual information and facts. And it was a big part of, it was WTOP radio and television. It was huge.
Yeah.
At the time, it was huge, and it was at the time when when we had less sources of information and actually more accurate information.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we help cut through some of the BS like you're trying to do. So.
Well, tell them they better, or I'll kick their ass.
All right. Hey, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.
Hear my other chats with Louis Black in the archives at BeyondTheFamePodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.